So here we do a subscriber special. This is for Jack Finch, who asked me 9 things, and I will introduce them. It will handle ownership of a Patterdale, the type of owner for a Patterdale. So sorry, now we have two. Why to choose a Patterdale over other breeds, the inspiration that one could have for such a breed, the types of Patterdale and why you could have one or the other, and the top 10 things you should recommend if someone gets a Patterdale Terrier, interesting facts about the breed, and the 10 things you should know before getting a Patterdale. I see a team of 10 coming now, Jack. And 9 the exercise needs. So we will start with that. So first point, what's it like owning a Patterdale? Owning a Patterdale is owning quite a small type of dog, but it doesn't feel like that. It's like an espresso. You have the full coffee experience of a normal regular cup of coffee. But then you have an espresso, and if you take an espresso and only put so much water in it and double the espresso amount of coffee, then you get the idea. So it's maximum dog in a minimum package. That's a good explanation in my opinion. And the funny thing is that the dog also feels like that himself. So he doesn't look at himself as being a small dog. He won't back down for nothing, and that's a really interesting feature. It also translates to how I am as a person. So I hope this helps. What type of owner should own a Patterdale? That's the second question. Now, Jack, in my opinion, should be an active owner, so that you can give the dog proper exercise and also stimulation of the mind. 2, you should not be afraid, because that little Patterdale dog that you have has a big attitude, so you should be wary of that. Also with involving cats, other dogs or the like, so you should be prepared to know that you have a little firecracker. You should also, in my opinion, preferably keep the Patterdales in house. They are different than, for example, German Yacht Terrier, which is also an elite hunting terrier, that I would always recommend keep outside, because it is such a neurotic breed in general sense that it's better to keep them outside. But a Patterdale is very much a bull and terrier character type of dog and loves to be kept inside with its family. Another point is that the type of owner of a Patterdale should know that there are limits. Of course, you can keep them with other animals, but be wary that they have a strong hunting instinct, and especially with rodents, cats and the likes. Also rabbits, I would never recommend it. With ferrets, also keep a close supervision. You can break them off, but it's not an easy task, and it's not that it will always be going great if you're not around. And also that, sometimes you can teach your Patterdale, for example, to leave other creatures alone as long as you're there. But if you're not there, it could be completely different. So also be able to separate them. And the other thing is that it should be an owner that really enjoys the temperament of a Patterdale Terrier. The next question is why to choose a Patterdale, and why. This is a personal opinion. For me personally, I came from a bull and terrier background. I had an Irish Staffordshire Bull Terrier before. Perfect dog, perfect family dog. The only thing is that his strength was so great that it would be hard for example, a child to walk him. Also for my wife, he was in very good fit form. I think 90 kilogram, 90.5 perhaps, but could also, and still packing a lot of not being fat, well over 20 kilograms, 23, 24 easily, and that's immense power you cannot imagine, if you never had a Bull and Terrier, what 23 or 24 kilograms of Bull and Terrier does to a small female or child. If it is going to pull the leash in full force. And there's another thing. The Irish Staffordshire Bull Terrier is a perfect family dog, very people friendly in my opinion. But also there are two things that are quite negative. One is the stigma that you could have with a pit bull type of dogs, that the general public will claim it is. And the other thing is that I already mentioned the strength, so I'm not going into that because it can also be a benefit. But the other thing is that the size makes it a lot easier. So not only that you don't have that stigma of a pit bull type of dog with a smaller dog, but also it's very easy to keep at the foot end in your car. You can also keep it in a smaller crate if you have to travel. So you have quite a lot of benefits. There are also other factors to be involved here. For me, I like the Bull and Terrier breeds being very big or being very small, like a Patterdale. So that's for me on the same sliding scale. And with a smaller dog, you can do a lot more things. An important factor is next to the size. We discussed the stigma, the size that could be beneficial, but a more important factor is that they are far less dog aggressive. So the Patterdale Terrier has a hunting terrier background, whereas the Irish Staffordshire Bull Terrier has more of a pit background. So that's different. And that would be the biggest things to consider, in my personal opinion. Also important to a certain degree as well. Patterdale Terriers are a healthy breed, very healthy in my opinion, even healthier than Irish Staffordshire Bull Terriers. And they also are being worked very hard. For example, the father of my dog is now 11 years old and has still been worked every one of those years. So that gives you some examples also on the robustness of the breed and the times they are tested, and to see if they are worth their feet, so to say. Next question is, what inspired you about the breed? Inspired is a little bit big. As I mentioned, I always liked the Bull and Terrier breed. Before that I liked natural dogs, more the wolf-like dogs a lot. And I also like that they have that natural ambience, and they also have nice features, but in practice they are not that beneficial. One, wolf-like dogs are not that nice in temperament. As you compare them, for example, with Bull and Terrier breeds, they bark, howl, dig up, they try to escape. That's all types that terriers can also do. But if you have a Bull and Terrier, they are a lot more relaxed. Also, they are not howling, they don't bark as much. Bull and Terrier type dogs are strong dogs, so silent, strong type. That I liked. The fur of a polar dog is a lot more time consuming. So you have to take care of it. It gets dirty. You have to the undercoat will blow. All types of things that I don't like. Third, I like a lot with this short-coated dogs, that they have a very good ability to exchange heat. Also, there's a benefit that you can see the musculature a lot better. And then the most important part, the character of a Bull and Terrier, is completely different than natural type of dogs. They are very brave. They don't back down. They will go through fire for you, to hell, as they sometimes say, but I don't believe in that. But they will really put it down, and that's very nice. They're also extremely friendly in general to humans. That's a good thing if you have children, for example. If you have an Akita with that character, it's for a lot more protective. Also, if children will interact, the Akita might pick a side and attack the other kid. Remember that. If you have, for example, a shepherd type of dog. It can also be very dangerous for your children if you're not there to let the dog know that the child is above it, because the dog wants to go higher in the hierarchy. With Bull and Terrier breeds, this is very often not the case, which I really like. Also, they have like an on button when they are outside and you keep them exercising, and also an off button. They can be very relaxed as well, not always that hyper. I will try and add a little bit about the inspiration part. For me, the gladiator type of dog, or a dog that is willing to face a strong adversary without backing down, is very inspiring. Being an original bulldog dealing with a bull that's so much bigger, the Bull and Terrier breeds that fought even against lions and bears. It's all blood sports and each other, of course, but they have so much bravery. And also the Patterdale Terrier, for example, facing a badger in his den, foxes, very big rats like nutria, even hawks. And if you talk about hawks, you can also expand it a little bit to the extremely big Bull and Terrier breeds, in my opinion, such as the Dogo Argentino that faces hawks, swines, and also puma, cougar, mountain lion, other words for that. Very brave type of dogs. So that I like as well. Then the next question: why you wanted your type of Patterdale and would you recommend it? My type of Patterdale, that is a little bit different. It's not my type. There are certain breeders that breed a certain type of Patterdale, some being very small, that they could go into the hole of a groundhog, for example. Some being quite big, that they can manage bigger quarries, such as European badger or raccoons, or the hawks and swines that I refer to. For me, I like my dog a little bit bigger, therefore it's more robust. Also, if it gets into an interaction with another dog that tries to attack it, for example. A very small dog can easily be killed by a bigger dog, being the size of a German Shepherd, for example. That's one. Also, I like the bigger dog because they are more robust. Also, if you, for example, fall upon your dog in an accident, they will be less likely to break something. And I like to have a dog on the chain. I like my dogs, if it's a Bull and Terrier, between 10 and 15 kilograms. That's, I think, my optimum scale. For a different type of dog, you will need more kilograms to have the same power there. So that's a point. You have the size component. Another important component would be there are different types of Patterdales, and regardless of the size, you also have more of the baying type, so more of a barking type. That's not very known in the Patterdale. Most are more of a mixed type, so they bay and catch, or being a catch dog. So baying type will kill animals that are easy to be killed. If it's an animal that's quite strong, it will bay and keep the quarry busy. And not try to fully engage. And the mixed type can do both, so the baying but also the catch dog, depending on the situation. And then you have the catch dog type that even faces the quarry, even if it's a lot stronger. For example, Patterdale versus a swine, a hawk, badger. Badger is also a lot stronger than a dog normally. So that gives you a little bit of insight. And I'm more at the baying side. No, the catch dog side. So as far as possible away from the baying side, so more to the catch dog side. And I like that type because it's more brave in my opinion, but also they are far less barky. So you have the most silent, strong type at this side of the range. Also with that you have different, I mentioned now the character, but also you have different types. You have types with a very snipey head, often those are more the baying types. You have types that have a very strong head, and those are more the strong dog, catch dog type. And I'm also more on the stronger type, not exaggerated, very able, very athletic, but a strong head and strong neck and paws, not very brittle. Would I recommend it? It all depends on what you want. If you want a dog that's very alert and will give you everything there is, then a baying type could be better. If you're a hunter, a mixed type could be the best bet, because then you still have the catch dog ability, but you also have the ability to have it less damage. Because if you have a catch dog all the time, the dog will have a lot of injuries as well. You will be getting to the quarry. The quarry will not have a big chance of escaping, of course, but the dog will suffer also a lot of injuries. If you have a baying type, of course, then you will have the least amount of injuries, but then you might be losing out on the catch dog. And the mixed type could be a good compromise within. So it all depends on what you want. For me, I like a silent dog and of a certain size, because the reason I recommend, but it could be completely different for you. The next question is the top 10 things I would recommend if you get a Patterdale. Yeah, I don't know if I will make it to 10. I will only do so if I have good reasons. So I'm not going to make it to 10 if it's not there. But first, you should be have the opportunity to care for the Patterdale. So give it the exercise, walk it daily. So you should have some shoes that you can walk on. But also, even if you have to do it barefoot, it doesn't matter as long as the dog gets its exercise. 2, in my opinion, should get a good collar. So I would recommend a white collar. White collar puts a little bit less stress on the neck, or you could have a harness, but I like to have a good collar as well as a main attribute. The additional benefit of a white collar is that you protect the veins and the arteries in the neck a little bit better if another dog tries to bite it, and that's oftentimes the main cause of bleeding to death, or being the ribs and stomach being crushed or ripped open. The other thing I would recommend is to get a breaking stick. And why? If your terrier is reluctant to let loose, sometimes they do, it's good that you have an option to quickly separate them. So I would recommend to have that. When you start to have a pup, I would recommend to have a crate. This will help to make it make it less messier, so that it will learn that this is its place, and also that will help to limit the times that it will be able to soil the place if they are not yet housebroken. Another benefit of the crate is that you can put it away if the dog is too hyper or something, or someone brings another pet or whatever, and you can just put it away somewhere that it is not able to see the pet, but also not able to reach those other people. Another thing that I would recommend is a police line. This is a type of line that you can attach, for example, to the collar or the harness, and that you can adjust on different ways. So it has different rings where you can place or can reconfigure the line in. It's not a must-have, but it could be handy. I would also recommend that you get good food boils and water bowls. I use stainless steel myself because I think that's the best way to do it. But it can help that you keep things tidy. Then you have like 6 things already. Good chewing toys to give them good exercise. I would recommend a Kong or a Nylabone. That are good toys. That are very sturdy. Kong ball is also a very nice thing to have, so some toys could help. And I will make it to 7, but those are 7 good points, I think. So the top 10 interesting facts about the breed. Again, I don't know if I will make it to the top 10. I will try to give you some good insights that really are interesting, instead of just spoiling and rambling on. The first very interesting thing about the Patterdale Terrier, that the chest of the Patterdale Terrier can collapse a little bit more than that of another type of breed. So what does that mean? The dog can go through smaller crevices because it can compress his chest to a higher degree. That's an interesting fact. Second interesting fact is that for the chest size of a Patterdale Terrier, you will be hard pressed to find a heavier dog. And how is that? Patterdale Terriers are limited by chest size to chase their quarry, and they have very strong bones for their chest size, and also very good muscles. So that gives you quite a heavy dog for the chest size that they have, this chest circumference. Another thing is they have a very sturdy skin. The skin is as thick or thicker than that of, for example, a dog 2 or 3 times its size. For example, the other Bull Terrier that I had, the Irish Staffordshire Bull Terrier, had a comparably thick skin. A fourth thing is that they have a very thick coat as well. So My type of Patterdale has a smooth coat, which I recommend for my personal taste. There also are rough coat and broken coats, and those could be better if they have a terrain that is more demanding. But even then, the implants of the hairs are that tight that it's very hard for sand and other stuff to get in, and that's very easy to clean. Another thing is that people often do not know that the bravery of a Patterdale is, I think, the highest or one of the highest of any dog breed. The only other dog breed that could be as brave or even braver is American Pit Bull Terrier of game lines. So I make it to a top 5, but those are 5 really good things about the Patterdale, in my opinion. So another request of a top 10 list of things you should know before getting a Patterdale. Again, I'm not going to make it to 10 if I don't have something valid to say. One, you should know a Patterdale Terrier is a working breed, a hunting breed. So the task is to chase and especially also engage other creatures, very oftentimes being able to kill them. So that's the point. Another point that you should know that they are extremely brave and extremely capable for their size. Another point is that a working breed should get ample exercise, and you should know that. If you cannot give that to them, being both physically but also mentally, you should have to give them something to work with and also to keep their mind occupied. You should not get a Patterdale. Also, all breeds of dogs can be quarrelsome among each other, but especially same-sex aggression is quite often the case, regardless of the breed. But a Patterdale or other terriers are often a lot more feisty. So that means if they will engage, seriously. They will try to do whatever they can, and that's with everything that they attempt. Another thing is, a Patterdale or another terrier type of dog is not a dog that normally will follow you like a slave. They have their own minds because they had to engage and to work in the dens on their own, and they do that very good. So please do not expect that from your dog. So I think I have now 5 things, and those are very important to consider. Just leave it at that. Exercise needs, that was the last question. In my opinion, you should give a working breed ample exercise. If you do not, it will be destructive also around the house. And yeah, you just will be tormenting the breed. So if you're not able to give it ample exercise, please do not consider a working breed, let alone a Patterdale Terrier, which is an elite working breed. So the exercise needs are, to keep it simple, you can build it up to an extreme level, of course, and they will still be able to manage. But the minimum would be that you just walk it like 3 to 4 times a day, and also give it a mental exercise. And if you walk it for a good period of time, this is also helping you a lot because the dog will be a lot more relaxed in the house. Exercise needs also that they want to have something to work with, so something to chew on, they really like as well. Also something to play tug of war with, they really like that. If you can give them something to hunt, that's even better. Of course, that's the primary purpose of this breed, that would be really a good exercise. But also if you give it exercise and you let it loose, be wary that they might be chasing another animal or blood trail. Also that they might enter a hole and get stuck or die there. And how do you get your dog out if you don't have a shovel with you? Please keep this in mind also with exercising your dog. And also look out that you don't have same sex dogs that are just being the macho around each other and perhaps getting into a fight. So also things that you could consider, there are like sled mills that could help. They should not be instead of the normal walks, because also the dogs needs to have the normal expression and the smells and other things and the interaction with nature a lot, and also has to relieve itself from its urine and also excrements, of course. But you could if you want to add a little bit more of exercise, a sled mill is a very good way to do this. You can also have this with free running a sled so that the dog has a good run. Another thing that could be very good is you can exercise it by walking it, you can jog with it, you can bicycle with it. But please keep in mind that if the dog has to relieve itself, it might break very hard and you will scrape the footpads. But another thing is that you could play tug of war, you can ball games they really like because they have a high prey drive. You can also have, for example, dogs doing agility if you really would like to, or chasing artificial quarry around the track. They will not be the fastest dog because they're quite heavy for their chest, but they are very fast as compared to an average pet breed. So even a dog like a flat-coated retriever with a very athletic build, or a border collie even from working lines, I've seen my dogs out accelerate them. I think the top end after a while will be not as high because they lack the paw length, but they are very fast even though they are quite heavy for their size. So that was it. Enjoy!